Black hair needs water. Forget everything you think you know about Afro hair. The number one thing that you need to focus on is moisture. And this video is going to teach you everything you need to know. What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel, where I help black teens better understand and embrace their natural curly hair. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to keep your hair looking soft, moisturized, and overall irresistible. Moisturized hair is the foundation of curls, bro. So if you want the curls for the girls, then I advise you to keep watching. The timestamps will be down below so you can jump around and hop from this section to the next section at your convenience. So without further ado, let's hop into it. So why do we need to put so much effort into moisturizing our hair? To answer that question, we first need to understand how our body naturally moisturizes our hair. Every hair on your head is connected to a sebaceous gland, and this secretes a substance called sebum. It is this substance that's responsible for moisturizing your hair and scalp. I actually dive deeper into this concept in one of my previous videos, which I'll link to right up here. But the problem is this substance has a harder time spreading throughout tight curls. And this is one of the key differences between straight hair and curly hair, is that straight hair has a problem with becoming greasy, whereas curly hair has a problem with retaining moisture. So how do we combat this? Well, I like to think of it in terms of income and expenses. How do we put moisture into our hair? And also, how do we retain as much of that moisture as possible? Now, before I get to hop in all those exciting techniques and methods of how to put moisture in your hair and how to retain moisture, you first need to understand hair porosity. And if you don't know what hair porosity is, like a lot of us guys out there, don't worry, I got you. It simply refers to your hair's ability to retain and absorb moisture. It's typically separated into low, medium, and high. Low porosity means that it's harder for your hair to absorb moisture, but it's harder for it to lose it as well. High porosity means that it's easier for your hair to absorb moisture, but it's also easy for it to lose it as well. And medium, well, it's just in the middle. Now, I'm sure your next question is, well, if hair porosity is so important, how do I learn mine? Google it. Hey, yo, bro, they thought I was just gonna tell them how to do it. No, I know, they're crazy. All jokes aside though, there's actually multiple methods and techniques in which you can test your hair. So I'll actually leave a link down below to explain how you could figure out what your hair porosity is. Now, the reason your hair porosity is so important is it's actually going to determine what techniques or what moisturization methods you use on your hair, because everyone's hair is different, and what works for me might not work for you, and what works for you won't work for me. It's a sad truth. Trust me, I wish we could just copy and paste, but that's not how it works. Now, with all that hair porosity stuff out of the way, and thank God, because I'm tired of saying that word, porosity. That sounds like an adult film. Okay, maybe not a film, maybe like an actress. Like an actress named Porosity. Why am I talking about that? Let's go over all the ways that you can add moisture to your hair. Now, there are going to be a lot of different products that says moisturizes your hair, repairs split ends. That's a lie, by the way. They don't repair split ends. That's a hoax. That's a bonus tip for you. But at the core of it, it really should just be adding water to your hair. How well it does that varies, but that's essentially the core concept of it. But a little way that I like to think about it, and it helps me remember it, is this phrase: if you want the curls for the girls, you're gonna have to see Dr. L. And Dr. L is an acronym for deep conditioner, rinse out conditioner, leave-in conditioner. Don't bother searching up Dr. L. You will not find anything. I just came up with that. I just pulled that out of my literal hip. So take that with a grain of salt. But from my experience, these are typically the products that are gonna moisturize your hair. They're gonna put the water into your hair, and then we'll cover how to keep that moisture in. How many times did I say moisture just now? Now, I'm sure many of you have heard of rinse out conditioners and leave-in conditioners, but you might be a little confused on what is a deep conditioner. Regular rinse out conditioners primarily hydrate the outer layer of your hair shaft, whereas deep conditioners are designed to deeply penetrate the hair shaft, essentially moisturizing it from the inside out. So think of deep conditioners as Super Saiyan, God, Blue, Goku, Fusion, Gogeta, Beerus, whereas regular rinse out conditioners are more like Krillin. Deep conditioners are very important when it comes to hair growth. So if you want to learn how to grow your hair faster, I strongly suggest that you check out my free men's afro hair checklist, covering the top 10 tips to take your afro to the next level. Probably should mention that it's free. But who likes free stuff? Nobody likes free things anymore. Nobody wants to be handed a perfect gift. Let me stop hyping. So if that sounds interesting to you, it'll be one of the first links in the description. Now, I couldn't make a video talking about moisturization without bringing up oils. Now, there's a lot of disparities online and in the natural hair community of whether oils actually help to moisturize your hair. Some people say that it's essential for hair growth. Some people say that it's absolutely not and that you don't need it. Here's where I stand on that. If you want healthy hair, you need to understand the purpose of oils. Oil is not a moisturizer, it is a sealant, meaning it doesn't put water into your hair, but it will stop it from escaping. This is mainly because the molecules that make up oil are much larger than the molecules in water. So applying oils like jojoba oil and argan oil to your hair after you've just finished putting water into it is effectively just gonna bully those water molecules and just be like, yo, you can't escape. Now, some people argue that oil does make your hair softer and grow faster. Even I don't know where the line is, but my conclusion is that some oils do contain nutrients that will make your hair more elastic, which could make it feel more moisturized. I'm not entirely sure about that, but that's none of my business. If you want to keep your hair soft, moisturized, and supple, then I strongly suggest that you start practicing the LCO/LOC method, commonly referred to as the LOC method. It's simply a layered moisturization technique in which you first add a liquid, then you follow it up with an oil, then you follow it up with a cream. So essentially, you put water into your hair, then you put an oil on top to seal that moisture inside, and then the cream, to be honest, I don't really know what the cream's for. I mean, I guess if you're trying to style your hair, it could be useful, but I just think that's a waste of product. So if you have any knowledge or expertise on that subject, please drop it in the comments. I would love to read about it. Please explain it to us. But before we continue, if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to give it a like. I post men's afro hair content just like this every single week. I'm also very active on Instagram, where you can find everything that didn't make it to YouTube. The links to all my socials will be down in the description. So that's one way that you can retain moisture, but a method that a lot of people overlook and is the reason that your afro has been the same length for years is protecting your hair when you go to sleep. So let me paint a picture for you. You've just finished washing your hair, you put in your leave-in conditioner, your oil, your cream, and all that. You're feeling good, your hair is feeling nice, it's on point. You're catching a few glances, you know, you might get a little double take here and there. You know you look good. And after a day of distracting everyone's girlfriends, you go to sleep, you wake up, and your hair is dry. It's flat, it's crusty, it sounds like sandpaper. You're confused. You followed all the right steps, you checked all the boxes, but now your hair is dry. And if you want the reason, look no further than your cotton pillowcase. You see, cotton is a very absorbent material, so naturally it's going to be sucking all that moisture from your hair throughout the night. And if that wasn't the worst part, all of that twisting and turning that you do in your sleep is going to create friction, and this friction is going to cause the ends of your hair to snap off. So not only is your hair dry and brittle, but it's also shorter. So what's the solution? My advice is to invest into a satin bonnet, as the satin material creates a barrier between the cotton and your hair. Now, if you're afraid that you might lose your street cred, your G status, for wearing a bonnet, don't worry. I actually offer masculine bonnets so that other guys can protect their hair and their pride at the same time. The link for those will be down in the description. And there you have it. I've pretty much talked about everything you need to know to moisturize your hair. But before you go, you're always so quick to leave. Let's do a quick recap so we can reinforce what we've learned. First, we talked about the reason that afro hair needs a little extra help and the importance of hair porosity. We established the purpose of oils, and we talked about Dr. L, an acronym that you can use to remember how to put moisture into your hair. Like I said, don't search that up. I just came up with that on the spot. I should copyright it. We explained the importance of deep conditioners, and we also covered the LCO/LOC method. And lastly, we concluded that the best thing that you can do for your hair is to invest into a satin bonnet, as it prevents your hair from drying out throughout the night and also helps you retain length. If you found any value in this video, please give it a like. It really helps the algorithm bring my videos to the right people. A subtle reminder, if you want that free men's afro hair checklist going over the top 10 tips to level up your afro, I'll leave the link for that in the description. I'll also leave the links to any useful information like how to determine your hair porosity. If you like this video, you might actually like this one, so I advise you check it out. That's all for me, and I'll see you next time.